Hi, I'm Steve Richardson, and I'm a student loan lawyer here in Southern New Jersey. Well, it's that time of the year again. It's October, and the new FAFSA form has been released for parents and students to fill out for financial aid for the coming school year, college year. You may be facing this if you're a senior in high school and you're going to college next year, or if you're in college and are looking for financial aid for the subsequent academic year. And I found that in talking to folks that there are some myths that are floating out there about the FAFSA form that can really undermine your efforts to get all that you can in financial aid for school. And I just wanted to go over with you these myths so that you'll know that they're myths, avoid them, and get as much as you can for your schooling. Now, the first myth is, I don't have to include my parents' income information because I support myself. Well, that's not necessarily true. You need to look at what the U.S. Department of Education's definition is of a dependent. You may still be a dependent. And if you don't include your parents' income information on your FAFSA form, that could cause some problems for you in getting financial aid. So don't assume that because you support yourself or pay a lot of your expenses, that you're still not a dependent of your parents. So look into that first and don't make that assumption. Second is, I can't fill out the form until my parents or I fill out and file our tax returns. Well, that's not necessarily so. You need to look at what the deadlines are for FAFSA submissions for the schools that you're looking at or for the school that you're attending and going back to for the coming academic year. A lot of times the deadlines allow for enough time to prepare and file tax returns to get that information. But if worse comes to worse and you simply have to file it, then use estimates. Once you file your tax return, you can always amend the FAFSA form with the updated information. The next myth is that my grades aren't good enough to get financial aid. Well, that's not necessarily so. Okay, if you're a high school senior and you're going into college as a freshman, grades really don't enter into it. The college does require that you make satisfactory academic progress during the school year, and that could affect your ability to get financial aid for subsequent years, and you do need to look at that. But if you're a high school senior looking for financial aid to start college, that's really not a factor, so don't assume that. The next myth is, I'm too old to qualify. This is simply wrong. There is no age requirement or age limit for financial aid. The fourth is that the form is just too hard to fill out. Well, no, not really. It's gotten easier and easier over the years. You can do it electronically online at FAFSA.org. You could do it on your smartphone using a mobile app. There are ways of pulling in income tax information from the IRS database to populate those fields in the form. It's an intelligent form, and it'll serve up relevant questions to you, so you're not having to figure out whether to fill it out as not applicable. But the form really isn't as hard as you think, and there are worksheets and resources from Department of Education websites that'll help you with that. I won't qualify because I or my parents make too much money. I hear this a lot. Well, I'm not going to apply for financial aid. My parents are very well off. They make a lot of money. Well, not necessarily. I always tell people, fill it out. Don't ask, don't get. Because no matter what the federal guidelines are for lending, and your parents or you may not qualify for those, bear in mind that the FAFSA information is used by the school itself, and you may qualify for financial aid that the school offers. So don't make that assumption that you make too much money for financial aid. Fill it out and send it in. And lastly, I filled out the form my freshman year. I don't have to fill it out again. Well, no, that's not true. It's a new year. It's a new tuition bill. It's therefore a new loan. So you got to fill it out again. So this is something you're going to do every year while you're in school to apply for financial aid so that you can afford to attend. So those are the top myths out there about the FAFSA. So I hope that none of those hold you back and that you're digging in and preparing that form to get financial aid. It's an exciting time. You're going to college or continuing your college education to get a better life. So ignore those myths, fill out the form, and get as much financial aid as you can to get the best education possible for your best future in life.